His second 250-plus score against Pakistan.
And in the heat and dust of Multan, he becomes only the 6th England batsman to make 300 in Test cricket.
Away from Ollie Pope, and he's declared.
Bowling, what a shot! First delivery, and it pays all around it.
Gone, soft dismissal, Shan Masood there, just poking his bat at that line. Edge and gone, caught behind Babar Azam once again.
Brilliant catch, a very ordinary shot.
Lovely shot. Calm, composed. Oh, and another. 5 now.
Hello and welcome for day 5 of this test match. We're here from Multan Cricket Stadium. It's the final day of this test. Well, things are looking good for England and they will be hoping to finish things off as soon as possible for them. Pakistan, after making 556 in response, England made a mammoth total of 823, courtesy that brilliant partnership between Brook and Root. In response, Pakistan
The combination of probably a bit of weariness, mental pressure, techniques we can talk about as well, everything added together meant that Pakistan had what I can only describe as a bit of a shocker.
Absolutely. A shocker it was, Ramiz, when you look at Pakistan's performance. I mean, the flattest of tracks, how do you explain this batting performance?
I think they need a psychologist, something to work them into a better situation and position, because right now they're struggling big time. It's not only the cricketing excellency that they're aspiring for, but it's the mental block that they've hit in the last 4 test matches especially. And the worst thing is that it's predictable. You know, anything in cricket, when it becomes that predictable, it becomes boring in a way and disappointing. And so the fans are disappointed. What they need to do is to maybe get up on the saddle, get up on the horse again, and make sure that they don't make this mistake again, or the mistakes that they've committed in the first test match, and get away from this through process, through learning, so that they put it right in the second test match.
All right, for England's perspective then, they needed lots of runs on this wicket, and they have their two stalwart batters who've done that for them. Harry Brook has done really well in Pakistan, but Joe Root, I mean, what an amazing day for him. He seemed extremely tired by the end, and why not? After scoring that many runs in Pakistan, over 250 runs, and the list of achievements continues to grow.
Well, yeah, it could take us a week and a half to get through the records that were broken. For someone like Joe Root, I mean, the simplest way to describe it is that apart from the obvious natural talent and a well-honed technique, he just loves batting. He keeps it simple. When you watch Joe Root at his best, there is a real rhythm to his batting, where all the movements seem beautifully coordinated, and that is the sign of a top-class batsman. And then you have to have this determination to carry on and carry on and carry on. The odd bit of luck now and again, yes, doesn't go amiss, the odd drop catch, but it is that sheer love of batting that drives him forward. And for him, he's now got something like 6 double hundreds in Test matches. He's got more double hundreds in Asia. He's got double hundreds in every country in Asia as well. Just proves that he likes batting in this continent, in this part of the world. But it's just a question of skill and drive and, you know, the real love of batting.
All right, we're talking about Joe Root. Let's hear from the man of the moment himself. He spoke to Arooj Mumtaz yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're dealing with conditions that are still alien to us. We don't play in heat like this very often. There are different skills that you need to manage, like reverse swing, slightly different bounce to what you get back in the UK. So they're all things that you take into account before you come out here, and you know, previous experiences of playing in these conditions you want to utilise. And I feel like as a whole batting group, actually, we really took advantage of that. The way that we were able to score at such a good rate as we did previously, or the last trip that we were on here, has meant that there's very much a chance of a result in this game. And you know, we've still got a lot of hard work to do, but off the back of the way that we've played so far in this Test match, we've got a real opportunity tomorrow if we get things right.
Yeah, what an incredible player. His ability to adjust in all kinds of conditions, Ramiz, when you look at all the great players of the world, that was one of the highlights, and that's what we see from Joe Root. He has mastered his skills everywhere around the world.
That's why he's a great player. Over 12,000 runs. Still he wants to bat. And that was a great partnership. His qualities, there are many qualities. He's grounded, he's a good guy, he's a good team player. And then he can play well against spin, can play well against pace. He adjusted beautifully to the conditions. They're not easy. I mean, yeah, flat pitch and all, but the conditions were so aggressive. But he had to weather the storm. He had to go through the processes and just maintain his focus so well.
All right, another guy who's been rather focused in Pakistan is Harry Brook. I mean, we had him in our post-match studio as well. What a brilliant player he's turning out to be across all formats for England.
Well, I mean, it's still very early days in the Test career for Harry Brook, but I mean, if you want to give him a Pakistan passport and let him live here, he'll make thousands of runs for the next 10, 15 years. I mean, he came here 2 years ago and broke the record for the most runs in a 3-match series by an English player. Got about 460 runs off Ben. He's already into 300 plus in one innings. I won't say he's going to bat again in this game, but you know, 2 or 3 innings still to come in this series. And what he's done is just add. I mean, last time he was precocious, he was brilliant, he was big scoring, but he's added that sort of Joe Root style hunger to his game. So not happy with 150, not happy with a double 100. He's gone and made his first triple 100 in Test matches here, which is just a very, very impressive effort.
Absolutely, and a testament to his fitness as well. He spoke about it, how he's in particular worked on his fitness and sort of really worked in that area to add longevity to his innings, as we saw yesterday. We'll take a short breather. When we are back, we'll be back with the pitch report with Amir Sohail. Well, we're here on day 5 of this test match. It's been a beautiful batting wicket throughout this test match that we've seen. Not much has happened for the bowlers apart from the odd crack here or there, but it's been rather good for batting. Is it going to behave any differently? Let's find out from Amir Sohail.
Oh, this is one stubborn pitch. From day one, it had a tilt towards the batters, and surprisingly, it had stayed firm. If you look at the pitch, the cracks have widened. It's abrasive in nature, but no grip for the fast bowlers. And if you're wondering why the Pakistani batters struggled in their second innings, it was because of the English fast bowlers hitting the length very hard, getting the ball to jump from good lengths, and they exploited the weaknesses in Pakistani batters' technique. And that's why they're in a very good position in this test match. And I think this pitch will remain firm. Yes, occasional delivery might jump or grip. Other than that, still, it has a tilt towards the batsman.
Still a very good batting pitch then, David. Very stubborn pitch, as Amir said.
Yes, that was a great word to use, wasn't it? Because there was a suspicion at the start of the game that it would do what it should do, which is start to just dust a little bit and help the spinners. But it stayed together. And these things, these cracks are always deceptive. It doesn't really matter how wide they go as long as they're still firm. And even if you've got cracks in the pitch, 99% of it is still very solid. But what England did well, I think, yesterday was just alter the length very gently, very slightly, push Pakistan on the back foot a bit, but then push the ball up. For instance, that first ball was a cracker from Wokes. It took Abdullah by surprise. But then for a lot of the rest of that session, it was exploiting what does tend to happen on any pitch, which is the bounce starts to get a little uneven. So some bounce a bit, some keep a bit low, and that makes it tough.
All right, that's what makes it tough, and I'm sure England will be looking to capitalise more on that by bowling those lengths in these conditions. Time for a short breather. When we are back, we've got more to talk about, so don't go anywhere. back on pitch side, and we're talking about England versus Pakistan, how England have dominated this test. Pakistan, though, they've been rather lackluster, especially in their batting department in the second innings. It seems to have become, you know,
I'm not too sure what is happening in the domestic circuit. This bit of freshness improve the overall psyche of the dugout. You know, yes, maybe. Babar Azam, I think he needs to answer this question himself. He's played a lot of cricket for Pakistan. He has aced every format. So leave it to Babar Azam. Let him decide what he wants to do. Ask him, pop him that question. Whether would you want to rest? Whether you want to take time off game and go somewhere else, maybe go to Murray or somewhere which is a bit nicer, you know, amongst mountains, and reflect.
does time apart help batters, David? I mean, if you're going through that patch where you just can't figure out your game.
Well, okay, let me just give you personal experience. I took a winter off once halfway through my career because I felt I needed a rest. That was my decision, and I went to selectors and said, look, can I have the winter off? In the middle of a series like this, the thing about someone like Babar is he'll be very proud as a Pakistan player, a former Pakistan captain, and whichever way you phrase it, it's mighty difficult. Whether you say, look, we think you need a break, or whether you say, would you like a break? Yeah, it's still a big dent to your pride. Raising the topic might just sort of raise some fire within. Because the problem, even for the great players, even for the best players, is that confidence, when it goes missing, makes you half the player you should be, and you start to do little things wrong, and then it becomes a bad habit.
All right, so it is a tough question, but one that he has to answer at some point as well. We take a short breather, be back with all the live pictures, so don't go anywhere.
His second 250 plus score against Pakistan.
And in the heat and dust of Multan, he becomes only the 6th England batsman to make 300 in Test cricket.
Away from Ollie Pope, and he's declared.
Bowling, what a shot! Fast delivery, and it pays all around it.
Gone, soft dismissal, Shan Masood there, just poking his bat at that line. Edge and gone, caught behind Babar Azam once again. Brilliant catch, a very ordinary shot.
Lovely shot. Calm, composed. Oh, and another. 5 now.
Hello and welcome to the last and final day here at the Multan Cricket Stadium of the first test of 3 between Pakistan and England. It's a Bank Alfala presents Kingdom Valley Test Series match. by the team players on both sides. Hello and welcome to the world as well. Live action here on day 5 of this first test match. Ollie Pope leads his side out. This will probably go down as one of his greatest achievements in his England captaincy career, at least, Af.
Well, it's a short career for sure. Only 3 matches against Sri Lanka at the back end of the English summer, and then this game here in Multan. But it will go down as a very significant victory in terms of England's entire overseas history if they can win here. To concede more than 550 on first innings and then come to the start of day 5 and have a wonderful chance of wrapping up this game is a marvellous achievement. I'm not sure your overnight prayers for rain have been answered, Aruj. Just looking at the skies, the clouds don't seem filled with rain to me.
There was even predictions of a sandstorm, so none of the weather gods are listening to any Pakistani prayers overnight. All they need is the 3 wickets, because Abrar Ahmed is still unwell, still in the hospital, so he will take no further part in this game. Pakistan trail by 115. And the 70 between Salman Ali Agha and Amir Jamal, just putting a little bit more time into the game.
Yeah, these two put a lot of resistance out there in the middle, and that kind of resilience was needed from the top order batters. Couldn't apply themselves. Well, the English fast bowlers were mighty impressive. Hit the deck hard, just back of the length.
Here we go then. Gus Atkinson to Salman Ali Agha here on day 5.
Well, it'd be no surprise to seeing the start with seam at both ends this morning. I thought all 3 seamers were excellent late last evening. Wokes, of course, starting things off with that wicket of Abdullah Shafiq with his first ball, but then Carse and Atkinson, who are much more inexperienced than Wokes. Carse on debut, Atkinson playing in his first overseas test match. I thought both of them were quite outstanding late last evening. A smattering of England supporters in the ground, maybe 50 or so.
Yeah, it's very important for the third seamer to follow up well, and that's what we saw from Carse. He was exceptional yesterday in the third session. Really asked questions from the Pakistani batters, and in the process was able to pick up a couple of wickets, an important one.
The smattering of English fans that Ath mentions, singing Jerusalem every morning of a test match, become somewhat of a tradition.
Absolutely, no matter how many of them are in, and there's only a small number here in Multan for understandable reasons given how late the schedule was announced, but often for overseas test matches you may have a few thousand England supporters in the ground, and every morning around about the start of the first ball they sing what has become now the hymn or the anthem of the England cricket team, which is the famous Jerusalem, and you'll always see Root and the other England players applauding them after they've done so.
I think the English fans have to be right up there in terms of the best travelling fans around the world.
It's amazing. The Barmy Army, of course, which actually started in 1995 on a tour I was captain of in Australia, and they were so called because we were having such a disastrous tour. Anybody who supported the England team on that particular Ashes tour of 1994-5 were thought to be slightly balmy, and that's how the name came about. But since then they followed England through thick and thin, and there have been a lot of bad days as well as good ones, but players know that they get an incredible level of support wherever they play in the world.
Well, I had an interesting encounter with them in that second test match here last time. We were all at Karachi airport and our flight to Multan got cancelled. And the level of commitment of the Barmy Army was that they got to Multan for that first day before me. I rocked in a couple of hours late in the start of play, welcomed by Nas. He said, "Thanks for joining us, Ruji." 154 for 6.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, you getting late. It's 154 for 6.
So what did they do? Come up by road then? And how far is that, Karachi to Multan?
Yeah, interesting story, because when we met the following day, I'd obviously gone back home, taken the flight to Lahore in the morning and driven 4.5 hours to Multan. They decided to find someone to drive them up in a van, and this is by them saying we had a hard time keeping the driver awake for the 10-hour drive up to Multan. So the Barmy Army, they've been fantastic. Some of them in our hotel as well. We have a good session at the end of day's play, sharing opinions of how the test match should have gone, could have gone. Chris Wokes, both his wickets, those of Babar Azam either side. First innings with the ball dipping back in. Second innings challenged him on the outside edge. A feather of a touch to the keeper, so he's got him on both sides of the bat.
Well, yesterday we saw a number of catches that went in the air in front of the wicket. So Wokes himself put one down at mid-off. Atkinson put one down in a similar position off Wokes. Then Shan Masood chipped one in the air. So on a wearing fifth-day pitch, it's a little bit cracked. That's what England will try and do. They're not going to get that many catches in the slips. We've hardly seen a catch go into the slips in this game, but more have gone in the air in front of the wicket.
Fielder does well. Just correction on that. It was Gus Atkinson who challenged and got Babar Azam in that second innings on the outside edge. On a pitch that Amir Sohail has used the word stubborn for, in spite of the cracks.
I can think of some other descriptions for the pitch.
Go on.
And they're not necessarily repeatable on live television.
Yeah, it is going to produce a result, no matter what. That's what you want in Test match cricket. But yes, the curator has to really think hard. He was actually cocksure that this pitch is going to deteriorate on day 3. And if the curator didn't know how it's going to respond, God help us.
He's doing well so far. You use the word resilience and resistance. Amir Jamal, coming in a very difficult spot, has done well so far. 30 of 53.
Well, you get a sense of a player's character in tough situations, and I thought actually throughout England's mammoth first innings, Jamal kept running in with the ball and hitting the pitch hard, and we saw last night when he came in a desperate situation that he showed that character and resilience. So he definitely looks like a cricketer to keep faith with, to me.
And we saw a dolly catch being dropped by Babar Azam, but he was one who stayed alert in the field. He was able to pick up 3 catches, and that tells you he's a committed cricketer. Amir Jamal.
He was out there with Shaheen Shah Afridi before the start of play. They have an interesting conversation, just happened to be there. And Shaheen, still in their practice kit, came out. And he told Amir, come here, have a look at these cracks. And Amir was like, whoa, don't show me that. I don't want to look at any cracks whatsoever. And he quoted his own innings from Australia. I think he said Perth. And he said that when he came into bat, and his first eyes onto the surf, and he's like, oh my God, if I look at this, I'm done. So he said, I'm rather going to keep my concentration on what the ball is doing, because if I start thinking about the cracks, I'm half done anyways. Not quite sure about him though. He loves to bat, but he'll hope he stays in that gallery for as long before he needs to come out. .156 for 6. It didn't take long, 2 hours and 20 minutes. Obviously a couple of breaks in between that as well. And wickets came very quickly, one after the other. Pakistan were 82 for 6. And they've done well so far. 74 to add in that 7th wicket. The vacant slips, expecting the ball to come squarer because of the lack of zip in the surface. The ball flies through that area for Salman.
Seemed he played that deliberately. He knew where that fielder in the slips was placed. Just opened the face ever so slightly and picks up a boundary. He moves to 46. He got a century in the first innings as well.
Yeah, very right, Amir. Is very well controlled, but you'll just have to be careful because there is a gully, Joe route. We spoke about what the English seamers did, and they just applied periods of pressure by being consistent around that line of 4 stop and hitting that just back of a length. That's what Pakistan didn't do for a longer period of time. Every time we saw Naseem Shah do it, he got that degree of deviation, which was about 1 degree or more. But it was again off that back of a length, 7.5 and 8.5 meters. I think Pakistan let themselves down also. Added to make matters worse.
Yeah, on a pitch like this, you have to make the new ball count. And that's what we saw from the English fast bowlers. There was a lot of vim and vigour. They banged the ball very hard and got the desired results. And what Pakistani batters they needed to do out there in the middle to bat with confidence, it was lacking.
Well, England had a chance to wrap up this game last evening, actually, and they might have done had they not put down 4 chances. Wokes the first, Atkinson the second, Pope very tough in the gully. I mean, hard to call that a chance, really. But then Bashir, who should have taken this one at deep backward square about half an hour before the close of play. And had he taken that one, England may have pressed hard for a 4-day victory.
Yeah, Pakistani batters playing the ball in the air tells me that they were feeling a lot of pressure and hence hard hands on the bat. They were trying to reach for the ball. Yeah, you're right. This game could have been over last night had those catches taken. But 10 out of 10 for the effort from the English bowlers.
Straight to one of those short mid wickets, overdone. It's 161 for 6. And that catch to Shoaib Bashir was of Amir Jamal. He was only on 12. And with the Abrar not coming in, England would have to pick up only 2 more then. which could have pushed the game into the sunset here on day 4. But we all get paid for day 5, so come on. Wake up bright and early and rock up to work. Pakistan trailed by 106. Salman Ali Agha, again the run of play for Pakistan, once again batting with a lot of grit and determination. He's on 47.
Interesting, of course, that Pakistan's selectors just announced the squad for the first test only. Obviously, the team is on the back of 5 defeats and 2 defeats at home against Bangladesh, so there's an element of uncertainty there, both perhaps around the captain's position, Shan Masood, and the players more generally. So that's the squad for the first test only, so they're going to have to get their thinking caps on quickly and come up with a squad for the second. The next test match starts in 3 days' time, of course, 4 days' time. And 1 or 2 issues to solve, particularly around the spinner, Barmy Army, who's ill today, ill yesterday, and was plastered all around the park. So it would be difficult to think that Pakistan won't think about a change, at least to their spinner, and possibly other positions as well.
Well, they did add Noman Ali and Zahid Mahmood into the first test squad, which was the difference from Bangladesh. And you reckon it might just be one of those that walks into the 11. Goes after the short one, just lands over Gus Atkinson.
A let-off really for Salman, who was a bit tentative here and a bit late on this short ball from Wokes. It came right off the splice, and it's only because Pope has got those fielders in a catching position, which is understandable given where we've seen the catches go in this game. Had mid-wicket been in an orthodox position there, that would have been an absolute dolly.
Yeah, a semicircle of fielders in front of the batsman's eye from mid-wicket all the way to cover. And half a ring of fielders in front of the batsman's eye for anything that he prods at, hits in the air or mistimed shot. No real pace in the surface. I mean, the other players Pakistan do have, which were named as reserves, are Kamran Ghulam and Muhammad Ali, who played in that Bangladesh series. Well, watched as 162 for 6. Kamran Ghulam was part of the squad in Bangladesh, didn't play any of the games, and then moves to the category of reserve players. Muhammad Ali as well, but he had his struggles with fitness. It's just slightly contradictory of the messaging when you announce a squad for just the first test, when you're trying to provide that consistency and confidence to your players. 80-run partnership now between Jamal and Salman. The day so far has been okay in terms of Pakistan. They knocked away 10 more runs from that trail, which they started with in the day.
You're talking about the squad and the performances of Pakistan in the first test match against England. There has to be few changes. But before making the changes, when you talk about any organization, there has to be horizontal and vertical coordination. And when I say vertical coordination, to the groundsman. First, ask the groundsman, what can you prepare? Because they have shown the inability when a captain or the coach asks them to prepare certain kind of pitch. That's nicely done. 50 for Salman Ali Agha. His 8th in Test match cricket after scoring 100 in first innings. He's building a reputation for himself, Salman Ali Agha. Yeah, to further the point, they have to ask the curator what sort of a pitch he can produce. Do not ask him that this kind of a pitch we want. He's limited. So once you are assured what kind of a pitch you're going to get, then you decide on final 11. I don't think otherwise it's going to work. Yes, you have to bring in Zahid Mahmood. He's a different kind of a leg spinner who gives a bit of loop to the ball, gets the ball to turn on any kind of a surface. He has to be in the squad.
At the moment, Salman Ali Agha has been a fine prospect since he's made his Test debut. He follows up a good 100 with 52 here in the second innings. He's one of those players where, at least in my opinion, makes Pakistan's all-format teams. He's that utility player. He's busy at the crease. He can play the big shots as well. He's got the temperament to play the longer version of the game. He's a very good fielder and he's more than handy with his off-spin. Someone maybe Pakistan can earmark as someone they can put a little bit more responsibility on.
Stop there. Stop there.
In the future, Amir, in the future. Just put a tag on him. Just the odd one takes off. I mean, the one thing that you would have expected or wanted from the pitch was maybe a little bit of up and down movement. You want the ball to grip and turn. Something in for the bowlers. It becomes an interesting conversation. It's been throughout the last few months, few years really. Surfaces. Amir, you've been in administrations obviously a while ago. Is it down to the leadership group to ask for a particular kind of surface given the home advantage? Played nicely. Looks for 3, does well. They do well, running well between the wickets. 168 for 6. 169 for 6.
When I played my cricket for Pakistan, the surfaces were out of equation because we relied on reverse swing and we had quality spinners. And Mushtaq at that time, Saklan was there for Pakistan, and when I got into the administration, it was a similar thing. We had few fast bowlers. Asif was there, Shoaib was there, Umar Gul was doing a great job, Saeed Ajmal was there. So the pitches really didn't matter. And then we played a lot of cricket in Emirates. So when you needed certain kind of pitches, these curators have failed to do the job for the Pakistani team, and that's why we have seen the reason why, for me, the Pakistani batters, they struggle in the second innings because the pressure ramps up and they just crumble because our bowlers, they've been conceding big totals in test matches against all the teams.
Bryden Cast now into the attack. Has 4 wickets so far as we speak, 2 on either side. Has been a good debut for him. Yeah, that is not a graphic that Pakistan will want to see. They'll want to make things better. It's that lost column. That's the trouble. the 6 losses at home.
Well, it's a desperate table, that, because winning away from home has become ever more difficult in recent years for all kinds of reasons, scheduling and conditions. So your home record almost is the bedrock of your test match record, full stop. If you're not strong at home and it's become very difficult to win away from home, it means you're really going to struggle in test cricket. I mean, all teams are looking at ways of winning away from home. England are trying to reconstitute their attack to include 85-mile-an-hour plus bowlers because they want to win in different conditions away from home. But they're still very strong at home with a Duke's ball. So that is a desperate table from a Pakistan perspective, because you've got to be strong at home given the challenges away.
Another thing, Michael, we have to consider to be able to do well in home series played, we have to think about changing the ball. Kookaburra is not working for Pakistan. Why not think about that? Raiders, Dukes, or any other ball. I think they have to think about that. Our bowlers haven't been doing well with Kookaburras at home. So there is another thing, food for thought.
He's bowled well throughout, Bryden Cars. He's the one who's come in, bent his back, banged the ball in.
Well, I thought he was the pick of England's bowlers yesterday, actually, on debut, and did okay in the first innings, but I thought he looked and came into his own yesterday evening when he bowled with pace, accuracy, and really hit the pitch hard.
Has come back in sharply as well. Bowling with pace. He's enjoying his outing here in Pakistan in spite of all the conditions and the challenges. Super Asia, Pakistan's leading home appliance brand. Required in every household. It's that magic of one touch. Doesn't apply to Pakistan cricket at the moment. There needs to be a little bit more magic all around. I mean, talk about what England looked for. They identified what they needed, and it's been repeatedly mentioned. They went towards bowlers who can bowl at 80+ miles an hour. Pakistan will have to do something similar. They need to figure out what recipe works for them, what combination works for them at home. The pace is significantly dropped. So when you talk about picking up the 20 wickets, where are they coming from? Pakistan lacking a quality frontline spinner and lacking pace in that pace department. And with the lack of reverse swing in this particular test match, it's been very difficult. 170 for 6.
Yeah, for the reverse swing, to create some effect on the batters, you need pace as a bowler. You cannot beat the batter in the air with 135, can you? So if you look at the Pakistani bowling lineup, nobody clocked 142 or 140 consistently. And there are so many areas of Pakistani selectors they have to look into.
That is the comparison. The fastest Naseem Shah has been 141.6 kilometers per hour. The average pace is that is a bit of a concern. Amir Jamal 130, Naseem Shah 134.7, Shaheen Shah Afridi 132. He does well to keep that down and turn the bat face. You compare them to the England average spinners. Bryden Carr's 137.6 his average speed, but every now and then when they bend their back and bowl quick, they have been quicker.
Well, England are looking for 140 plus. That's around about, in our money, if you like, 85 miles an hour. And that's why Carse and Atkinson were very much on the selectors' radar, even though actually they'd not played, they were not hugely or vastly experienced in first-class cricket. Carse is like Josh Tong, who's another one that they plucked out of county cricket with a modest record, really, but they want players who are 140 plus. They're happy to have Woakes because he's a different style of bowler and he brings ballast at number 8, balances the side, but he's also a skillful swing and seam bowler, so he's like the equivalent of Jimmy Anderson, if you like, but they're only going to play one of those in an overseas attack. So if they're going to play a balanced attack with 2 other seamers and then 2 spinners, those 2 other seamers, Carse and Atkinson, in this instance, have to be able to bowl 140 plus and hit the pitch hard.
Yeah, he's been really good. He said, obviously, he enjoyed his debut wicket since it obviously opens the account. But for him, he liked the bowl to Mohammad Rizwan. He just got the ball to nip back off the surface and bowled him through the gate. And those speeds, you'd imagine, would amp up when the surfaces are slightly more quicker, conditions are slightly more favourable. That's what Pakistan's lacking at the moment. Not too long ago, I remember a graphic where I think we had 7 or 6 fast bowlers lined up in a particular picture, and it was said the 140 plus club. Shaheen Shah Afridi, Naseem Shah, Haris Rauf, Ehsanullah, Muhammad Hasnain.
The issue for a lot of these bowlers is the scheduling and the amount of short form cricket that is played, and therefore they often come into test matches. It happened here 2 years ago for Haris Rauf and Naseem Shah. They came in on the back of the World T20 and were not conditioned for test match cricket, and that is a challenge for bowlers, fast bowlers across the world actually, and a challenge for the game as well.
Yeah, just one thing I want to add. You know, our bowlers, they need to learn over management and spell management. That's where they lack. It's 174 for 6.
.174 for 6. These two playing nicely. Amir Jamal and Salman just building a partnership. 92 and 118 deliveries just shows that this is a very decent surface still. It's not done much, and how well England did to reduce them to 82 for 6 late yesterday, or how poorly Pakistan played to get to 82 for 6 yesterday. Ollie Pope a little bit guilty of following the ball this morning. There was no short leg, ball went to short leg, now there's a short leg. There was no leg slip, now there's a leg slip. Change of plan, short balls from Carse.
I'm backing Pakistan to draw this. So what will happen to all the criticism then?
Ramiz, you'll have to work that out. Nasser's comment just now, was it good bowling, was it poor batting? I think that as ever, or as so often, combination of the two. I thought England put a lot of pressure on yesterday. I thought there were some tired minds when Pakistan started their second innings. That first ball was basically the shot of a man from Abdullah who hadn't quite switched on yet, who was probably expecting, for instance, a normal length ball from Chris Woakes, surprised by a full one. You need to switch on so rapidly when you've been in the field for, what, 150 overs.
Now, that's a nasty blow. There'll be a concussion test here. I hope he's okay, because that's a nasty blow. He looks okay, looks at the helmet. He'll need a new helmet. The physio will be on. There will be a concussion test.
Took his eyes off the ball. Very good bumper. Followed him. Hopefully there's not a lot of damage. But he bowls this heavy delivery. He can be slippery even on a surface like this. Deceptive in pace.
And I know there's very little time to react, but your instincts as a batsman, when you should see from the hand what the length is going to be. You get a very early clue from the hand if you're watching properly. It's a good bouncer. It's a seriously good bouncer because it's straight. There's nowhere to hide. But one would normally expect someone to be taking more evasive action than we saw in this case. But it is, what, 0.4 of a second, we always say, is give or take about the amount of time you've got to make your decision. And it has to be instinct. You haven't got time to think about it. It has to be instinct, just every little clue you pick up from the hand. But that was a solid blow.
Yeah, just nipped back as well. We saw that predictive element of Hawkeye, where it should have been and where it ended up on the angle from Cars. Some questions, just to check he's okay. 6 wickets down. Let's have a look at those wickets. First ball of the second innings. Woakes very full. Just hits the edge of a crack. A loose shot from Abdullah. His bat comes across the line. And then a couple of times in this test match there's been a leading edge from Shan Masood. This one was his undoing. Squared up Babar Azam. That was a beauty from Atkinson. The big wicket. And same Ayub. First ball for Cars in the second innings for him. Really good catch from Ben Duckett running back. And then Cars again was a beauty. Nip back. Rizwan shows you his stumps. And he found them. And then Leach, second delivery for him. Thin edge from Saud Shakir. A good catch from Jamie Smith. Since then, these two have played well. Salman, as he has done with that middle order and lower order, has done an excellent job. Barmy Jamal, 33, not out.
I like what I've seen so far from Amir Jamal. He's resolute, and that was a blow for the team because the field was set for him to go for that pull shot. There's a short leg in place, kind of a body line attack to a tail ender, and he's not flinched away from the situation. And you've got to give him a lot of credit. Pakistan dugout probably looking for such heroic moments to spur them on. And I think it has been a very, very good partnership. They batted sensibly and taken a couple of blows for the side.
While England dropped 4 chances, a variety of levels of difficulty. This probably the easiest. Amir Jamal pulling it to Bashir in the deep. This would have reduced them to about 90, 100 for 7, and it's put down. And they couldn't believe it, he couldn't believe it. Well, he's okay. There is another man going out if he does want to take the hook. In fact, there is only 2 people on the offside, and one's a fly slip catching. That is brave and solid in behind it.
Expecting a Yorker fuller length aiming at the stumps, but he's been really good, Amir Jamal. If you put your mind to it, this still is a very good batting surface. He's played a lot of common sense. He's played spin well.
Well, he obviously knows there's going to be a few more short ones coming his way soon. I wonder if he's still a little dazed, but they'll have done all the tests.
Should be a couple because Crawley was so fine at that fly slip. Comes back for 2.
It's a pitch where you can play a short ball like that. You don't have to really go hard and pull it, because the ball has this, in geometry term, will be a parabola, where the ball sort of hangs in the air and then drops low on you. So you can actually be on the back foot and guide it away rather than trying to hit it hard through square leg or mid wicket.
Good, brave batting from Jamal after the blow to the head. 178 for 6. That shows the anomaly well, really. 556 and 823 for 7, and then 82 for 6. A collapse from nowhere. After the collapse, a fight back from Jamal and Salman. Change of ends. Chris Wokes comes to the media end.
So Pakistan need to track down 89 runs. I think that is the job that they need to do. Anything over 89 will make it an interesting proposition for England, because they want to get rid of the remaining players, batters ASAP. Can they last till 89 runs? Anything up and over 89 will then start to sort of frustrate England.
Well, frustration can set in relatively quickly. I mean, last night, let's face it, England would have been surprised themselves at how well things went in their favour with the ball. Yes, it's a combination, as we said earlier, of good bowling, good pressure, and 1 or 2 errors, to say the least. But then when someone sets in and digs in, and you realise the ball is a bit older now, and the ball is a factor in all this, pitch is still, as we've said many a time, still largely very good, well then it becomes hard work. So now you need a bit of ingenuity, and you also need that mentality which says you don't succumb to frustration, but just keep going, keep making your plans, keep changing things, keep working out how you get someone out, and when that wicket falls, it can open the door.
Wants him to flick through the leg side. The field is set on the onside. 3 men in the catching area, close to each other, straight mid-on, 2 at mid-wicket.
Well, for Wokes, it's a question of precision. Still getting a little bit of shape now and again, which is rather different to the way we've seen these balls behave on this pitch for the previous 4 days.
Yeah, England still working hard on that ball, whether it's just a fraction of reverse swing. Not much, but there is a little bit.
I think there is a scope for a bit of spin against Amir Jamal. Let him see a bit of flight and let's see a reaction from a tail ender. I'm sure that he would want to experiment just a little bit against spin, then pace. He's been guarded against pace. Very precise with his feet movement. He's hardly moved his front foot forward. It's just batting from the crease, basically waiting for the ball to come and hit his bat.
Short ball pulled nicely. Man is behind square, goes in front of square, goes to the boundary. 100 partnership between these two.
That's a good shot, considering that he was hit on the helmet in the last over. This really is brave batting. Good batting. There was a fielder in the deep, and he avoided that fielder quite nicely. Picked it up early. Vokes not as pacey or not as dangerous as Cars when it comes to hitting that length, that shorter length.
.183 for 6.
Yeah, credit where it's due. 101 unbeaten partnership. Not the slowest either. 130 balls, not quite Brook and Root pace. The partnership driven so much by Harry Brook yesterday. But it just keeps those still relatively slim hopes alive for Pakistan.
Pull. That man's not all the way out. They've got Brook 3/4 of the way in. There's 2 out on the boundary. Brook now asking the skipper, does he want him in, catching? Where do you want me, Skip? And Pope has said to Brook, in you come.
Pope waved his arms in about 8 different directions. As if to say, hang on a second, I'm still thinking about this.
Change of angle, round the wicket, bounces now from Cars. Was there any glove on that? It's over the keeper's head. Crawley tidies up. I think it was glove. Yeah, given as runs.
I think this pair needs to be careful now, because Amir Jamal has been hit on the helmet by Cars. He's round the stumps. He's not really looking too comfortable. Hit him on the glove. So you've got to make sure that Agha Salman farms the strike. He's more on strike against Cars than Amir Jamal.
These are good bouncers. For the simple reason that they're all at nasty heights, good heights, a lot of effort goes into this, and all pretty straight too. I mean, the one you really want as a batsman is the one that's too high or too wide or both, because you basically look at it for a second and you know it's not going to get anywhere close to you. These are close.
And well played as well. Look to play it, look to pull it, and then get out the way.
Yeah, very good technique to play a bouncer on such a surface. Because you're not sure how much the ball will rise, so you're looking to get into position, and if it becomes a high bouncer and gets big on you, you can always withdraw and not hit that pull shot.
Yeah, it's why if you set yourself to play the shot, you're automatically looking at the ball. That still gives you an option, even in that very short space of time you've got. It still gives you the option to get out of the way, and it is the age-old piece of advice: keep your eye on the ball.
A lot of sun here in Multan, a lot of sun in Pakistan. It's October, it's supposed to get a bit cooler and cloudy, but for Inverix, There is a facility, a solar energy facility for you to recharge your mobile and tablet.
Short again. That will take a lot out of Cas. 185 for 6.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Tough on the bowler, the effort that goes in, and for the batsman it's a mental battle as well to try and work out what to play, what to avoid. But it is a question, you will know in these conditions that it's not going to be a long burst of this. Physically for the bowler it cannot be a long burst. They've got to weather that storm, match awareness for 4 or 5 overs, whatever it might be.
Again, the anomaly of session 3 and the day 4. There was so many wickets fell late yesterday. In general, it has been flat, it has been bat dominating ball, and it has been so far on day 5. 10 overs bowled. Surprised there's no spin yet. I thought you may try a little bit of Leach, tempt Jamal in particular, and rotate the seamers at the other end. England have stuck with seam at both ends.
It's going to be a draw. This becomes just a little bit predictable for a pairing that is a partnership of over 100. Hardly any lateral movement, so they are adjusting the length and playing with the feel, hoping that the batsman will make mistake. Well, he's limbering up, left armour. He has to be in. Leach.
Yeah, I think that's a good move. Leach has been the better of the 2 England spinners, the 2 frontline England spinners in this match. Bashir has been a little bit more wayward. And that's in both Pakistan innings. Bashir has got the nod first, but Leach is the right move.
Short ball, he had so much time to just pull that off the front foot. That just said, hit me. It sat up, and he did hit it for 4.
Showing character. What a good shot that is, hitting it in front of mid-wicket. There are plenty of time really to see it and seized on it. Mentioned earlier, Woakes not as difficult a proposition when it comes to bowling that length as Cas.
Yeah, he's on it very, very quickly. Sometimes it's easier as well when the ball's just outside off stump to drag it, because you get a clear view of it. It's not aimed at your head, so you're not worried about that. And if you keep your position, keep your eyes on the ball, get those hands through quickly, that's what happens.
The other difference between the 2 bouncers, one from Cas and other from Woakes, is that Cas seems to reverse swing the bouncer. The ball that got him on the helmet seemed to have followed him. We're having Tapalti up here, except for Nasir Hussain. I'm going to force him one down his throat at some point during this commentary stint. That's a very good lounge.
Nas, it's singly the finest tea in Pakistan, you know that.
It is. I've heard that, definitely. I'm having a coffee this morning.
Having a Tapalti coffee.
Slower ball from Woakes. Time for spin. I feel the problem is he's rotated his 3 seamers together, so they'll all be a little bit tired. Drinks coming up pretty soon. in about 8 minutes' time. Actually, it might be shorter than that because this is an extended session on a Friday. Yeah, would this been an extended session, they will take drinks slightly earlier to get 2 lots in. That was too slow for Jamal. 189 for 6. Time for drinks. Pakistan trying to put up a fight on day 5. 556 and 189 for 6, plays 823 for 7. England. This partnership is an excellent one. Salman Ali Agha 61, Amir Jamal 44 not out. They've had a little bit of luck late yesterday with a drop chance, but since then they've been quite brilliant. Spin, seam. It's been Groundhog Day really for Pakistan in the second innings recently. Top order woes and a fight back in the middle order, as these two have done very, very well.
Well, their first task today was to see off the brunt of the seam bowling, see off fresh bowlers with admittedly a slightly older ball. They've done that very, very well. Spin is into the equation now. Not exactly with attacking fields, which I suppose you can understand. So Jack Leach, who I said just now, has been actually the best of the two England mainline spin bowlers in this game so far. He'll be the steadier of the two. Let's see what he can do.
think with the two right-handers, LBW is the key dismissal. The odd one will turn, and then that will make you play with your bat and pad together. And one will just skid like that last one, but that was way down the leg side. Try and bat with your bat out in front. Try and take LBW out of the equation. Well, that just straightened a fraction.
Rangana Herath was a great exponent of keeping the ball straight even when he is flighting one. I think Leach, if he can do that, a flighted straighter ball can have an impact.
Got to it on the full, almost got too close to it, so he didn't time it, but he'll take a couple.
Yeah, Leach, you kind of rely on him to keep a line, wouldn't you? A line and a length. He tends to be reluctant to flight it too often. This is a rarity, actually, in two senses. One, it's flighted, and secondly, it's out of control. But I'd love to see him flight it more often.
That's the one. That's the one you're looking for, and given. It's the one that doesn't turn is the danger ball. Was it sneaking leg side? They've got the on-field umpire's decision, so it's going to be tight.
Director,
It's
third
gone
umpire.
upstairs.
We have a player review for LBW. Original decision is out. It is field delivery, scatter front on when ready. Just roll that back. Appears to be no bat. We'll just confirm that with Aldridge. Running through, no bat through the pad. Thank you. Ball tracking when available, please. No problem. Just waiting on ball tracking. Psyche, original decision is out. Pitching in line, impacts in line, wickets hitting. Be back on screen, you can stay with your original decision of out.
Yeah, an unsuccessful review.
You're on screen.
The change to Leach has worked. And England have their first wicket of day 5. Salman Ali Agha played really nicely. 63 from 84, 191 for 7, Pakistan. Well, better late than never for England. Jack Leach had to wait nearly an hour to bowl his first over of the day. And in that first over, he's got the wicket. Shaheen Shah Afridi, both him and Nazim Shah came back. Remember, England now only need 2 wickets. Abrar Ahmed is ill in hospital. So 2 wickets away from going 1-0 up in this series.
Very impressive from Leach because he had Saud Shakil out when he was looking good, well settled, and he's picked up Agha just now when he was looking rock solid. So a couple of very, very important blows for England.
Yeah, it's nice for a captain too when you finally make that decision to get such an instant result from it too.
Very good from Leach. A wicket in the over, 191 for 7.
Well, it was a lengthy wait this morning for England for that first wicket, but Jack Leach delivered. Just 4 balls after morning drinks. Not taken on the hour this morning because of a slight change to the morning timings, but 50 minutes or so, then Leach into the attack and gets Salman LBW propping forward. Mentioned that the session timings are slightly changed today. First session extended by half an hour, so lunch, if we get there, will be taken at 12:30. Hence a slightly different time of morning drinks. We'll have 2 drinks breaks in this extended morning session. Here's Bryden Carse. And Jamal greets him with a shot of real conviction. He's tested Jamal out with this short ball. Caused him some problems from time to time. He's hit him on the head. Glove one over the keeper's head, but this is a shot of real conviction.
That's good stuff from Amir Jamal. He stands tall and takes the ball, takes a short ball on, pierces that field. They do have 2 men stationed exactly for that. He's been good so far, 48 now.
Yep, he's clearly a cricketer of some character. He showed resilience with the bat. He kept coming with the ball in difficult circumstances, so Pakistan selectors who will be pondering all manner of things, you find out a lot about cricketers in difficult circumstances. And Jamal looks like one to stick with to me. He's going to keep taking Bryden Carse on.
Yeah, just the one that carries on straight on. And you play for the spin and he hits your front pad. That's his wicket-taking delivery, especially in Pakistan, where you're not working with a lot of spin. You want the ball to just slide back in, beat the inside edge rather than the outside edge.
Adjustment to the field after that previous shot from Jamal. As a fly slip in place now for that uppercut. Yeah, it's interesting that Pope turned to Leach first of all today. Generally in the match so far, he's given Bashir first dibs, but Leach has out-bowled Bashir in this game, no question about that. And obviously with 2 right-handers at the crease, it was the right move to bring Leach into the attack first on this occasion.
Matchup starters, right-handers, left-arm spin.
Well, it's a new word, but it's an age-old principle, really. Round the wicket now, Carse.
This morning's play must have just hurt Pakistan in a way that the way that they collapsed yesterday. You look at what's happening today, it's quite simple batting. The surface doesn't offer much, and if you'd gotten through yesterday with maybe a couple of wickets down, you would have been in a good position to save the test match. Nothing untoward has happened at all in the 12.4 overs phase. So the disappointment of Pakistan losing those 6 wickets in a very short space of time has amplified today. And also you look at the fact that Rizwan got out in the 19th over. As the ball gets softer for the faster men and the spinners, it doesn't do a lot. Rizwan goes out in the 19th over, and then Jack Leach gets rid of South, but the fast bowlers after that don't get a lot out of the surface. So it was just a matter of maybe getting through the first 15-20 overs. And then it would have quietened down. And that is a major, major disappointment in terms of where Pakistan are at in this test match.
So the left-hander Shaheen on strike, and immediately he's surrounded by a few more close catches. Slip, leg slip, short leg as well. He was expecting the short ball. Actually, it was a much fuller ball from Bryden Cast, challenging the stumps, but Shaheen backing away, drills it down the ground. He's off the mark. Pakistan's 200 is up.
Yeah, plenty of area on the offside. Horizontal slap gets enough strength on it to get it then past the bowler and then 4. Pakistan do have their 200 up, but like Bazid, you were talking about the fact that the top orders hasn't survived the new ball. Pakistan in their second innings again find themselves in a spot of bother. At least they did at 82 for 6. They've done well. Partnership between Amir Jamal and Salman Ali Agha. Minute Leach has come in. He's picked up that wicket of Salman for 63. They're trailing by 67. As the point you make in the previous over, Pakistan's collapse against the new ball in that second innings, now 3 times running, 2 against Bangladesh, and now we talk about batting application. Yes, England bowled very good channels. Surface still very decent. Where can you put a finger on what do you think is the overarching problem, or is it just a minor tweak, or somewhere in between? It's been the burning question.
It's not a minor tweak because it's all mental. You can't overcome that by just saying, yes, we'll overcome this if you get your bat here or pad here. It's a sort of situation that is built over, and it's a sort of a mental block now whenever they come into that third innings or that second innings. And once you lose a wicket, the dressing room's almost, it's a deja vu sort of situation. Everybody's thinking, here we go again. And it was classic yesterday when the first delivery Abdullah Shafiq got out and you just thought, oh no. And then that sort of affects you so much. So getting out of that is not as simple as we think. The only way out of that is that you get into a situation, actually physically overcome that situation and get runs in the second innings. Otherwise, it just keeps on building. 50 for Amir Jamal. He's batted really with some courage and, as usual, shown character. He's a character you want in the team. He's shown that in Australia. He's shown that in a T20 game where he defended in the last over, and he's showing it today with the bat.
Yep, very good half-century for Amir Jamal. His second in tests and first here in Pakistan, and does it absolutely spot on. An innings of character and resilience in a very difficult situation. There is a man out there just lurking at deep mid-wicket, Zach Crawley, in the hope that Shaheen will put one up in the air, but that went all along the ground. Pakistan 202 for 7. Just a reminder that Abrar Ahmed won't bat. He's still unwell, and therefore that 202 for 7, effectively 8 down Pakistan, and England 2 wickets away from what would be a very famous victory here in Multan. Swung leg side. Slightly high on the bat. Jack Leach gives chase. Doesn't look like Shaheen is intent on defending. He's not exactly an over my dead body approach here with the bat.
Yeah, already giving himself room. He was always looking to attack Pride and Cars and managed to get enough to clear the infield. I think that's what you're going to get from him, unless Amir Jamal walks down and say, all right, come on, let's hang in there for a little bit longer. But they still need to get those 62. So Shaheen Shah Afridi feels best that he swings at most and gets those. Amir Jamal, very fine player. 3 test matches, his debut series in Australia, picked up wickets, 18 of them in those. Got runs with the bat. Doing it again here.
High it goes. Should be out. Oh, down it goes. Another one put down. Not easy running backwards, but should have been taken. Ollie Pope it was. The ball set against the blue sky and the hot sun, but he should have taken this catch. He made good ground, he got into a good position and then fluffed it.
I think the only one thing you can be critical of England is their catching. He got there, like you said, Ath. He just broke through the hands. Over his shoulder. Only gets fingertips. Oh, he showed the drop catches, 4 of them, make that 5-3. Very tough ones in that. That should have been taken. It was off Amir Jamal again. He was dropped on 12. He picks it up fairly quickly, always running back in the end. The ball was still traveling over and beyond him.
Yeah, along with Bashir's drop late yesterday, that's probably the easiest of the 5 chances that England have put down, as Shaheen goes skywards this time and just out of the reach and range of Root at square leg. Feel that the end is not far away with the way that Pakistan are approaching the last few overs.
Well, the way Shaheen Shah Afridi is batting every time he's on, I'm not quite sure. I think the gesture suggests it's the message that he sends Shaheen Shah Afridi with. Well, Shaheen has a different interpretation of it.
Yeah, something lost in translation, no doubt, from captain to senior fast bowler.
Not sure if there's someone with the gloves in that dugout running and waiting to run out and correct the message. I don't think he's defended one of those 8 deliveries he's faced, Shaheen Shah Afridi.
He's determined to take the short ball on, but does so all along the And then in terms of home records since 2022, they found themselves bottom.
If we didn't show a few more. Every time Azim sends those tables across, he said, hey, we've had enough. And there's a few more he's got lined up. Don't think he wants to come back for the next game.
Well, it's been a challenging one for the statisticians and the scorers, it must be said, over the last few days in Multan. We mentioned that the message from captain to senior bowler may have been lost in translation somewhat, and Sarfaraz Ahmed bringing out instruction. One of the great films, Lost in Translation. Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson, Sofia Coppola directing. You're looking at me quizzically, Bazid.
Yeah, it's all right when you're commentating with us. Lots of things that Nas says that also gets lost in translation.
A love-hate relationship with you and Nas, Baz. Last time you got him with his acting skills in a particular Indian movie.
Yeah, the love, I don't know where the love is.
Is it a two-way hate relationship?
I don't know about acting skills. NASA was more wooden in that film than the three bits of the three wickets that are poking out right now that Jack Leach is aiming at.
Your shoes being discussed. Pitch reports with your sneakers. All sorts. Everything has happened both on and off the field.
Yeah. 208 for 7. Pakistan hanging in there. They just lost the one wicket this morning when Salman was trapped LBW by Jack Leach, but they're making England work for their gains. 7 down, effectively 8 with the absence of Abrar, the spinner. Now let's see whether Shaheen's approach is going to change after that message was sent from the dressing room.
He thought about it, let it go. 140, that one from Bryden Cars. He's building up some energy, so can you as well. The facility for fans, it's a great one in Break Solar Energy. You can charge your equipment, enjoy live action.
Well played.
Looking at England's squad that is here in Pakistan, we've seen throughout this test match Ben Stokes bowling, carrying drinks, doing his runs. If he is fit, what do you reckon the combination will be for the second test?
It's a very good question. First of all, England didn't seem to me to be overly confident that Stokes would be fit for the second test match. We'll wait and see. As Jamal pulls again firmly in front of square. No ball called by the third umpire. As I say, we've got 3 or 4 days before the next test match and time yet for Ben Stokes to get himself fit. But they didn't seem overly optimistic to me. But it's a very interesting question you raise. I mean, the obvious candidate is Kaas, but he's bowled really well in this test match. And if Stokes plays, you wouldn't expect him to play and then bowl a significant number of overs. So I wouldn't imagine he'd come in for one of the seamers. But then you probably need 2 spinners, even though Shoaib Bashir has not bowled particularly well in this game. So I'm floundering around here trying to answer your question because it's not clear which way England would go.
Absolutely, because they'd want a fully fit Ben Stokes who can obviously pick up the bulk of the bowling load, as he did in the last series he played here. Well, only time will tell whether he's fully fit to return to the playing 11, and what changes they make. And obviously similar questions on the other side for Pakistan. There will be changes.
Oh, tight. That was really tight. Salman Ali Agha was stretching for the crease there. Ahmed Jamal, correction, was stretching for the crease as the throw came in. And I think he was struggling here. Yeah, I think he would have been short of his ground. Terrible run in the circumstances. The other thing to consider is what the pitch is going to do here in Multan. Obviously we've got back-to-back games, but it's going to be played on a strip that is being cut and prepared about 3 away to the right as we are looking down on the square. With Pakistan likely to go 1-0 down. The game is not won yet by England, but will instruction come from the groundsman to prepare more of a result-orientated pitch? Can he do that even if he's instructed to? And that then would impact upon how England would look at their playing 11. They tend to not look too far ahead. They just look at the conditions in front of them. What 11 do we need on this particular surface to try and win the game? .214 for 7. this England squad that they've brought here. It's missing Josh Hull, who was picked originally but then got injured and had to pull out. Ollie Stone is going back home for his wedding, so he won't be available for the second Test match. So actually they're down to the bare bones. They're not blessed with huge options. Rayan Ahmed, who made such an impression in Karachi 2 years ago, he's in the squad as well as the leg spinner come all-rounder. Jordan Cox, he's the spare batter in the squad should Duckett, for example, not get over that dislocated thumb. Well, it's not a happy place to get the ball. It's the one bit of your hand that is not particularly protected, that top hand. I might have got him in the ribs, actually, just under the armpit. Right-handers often have a blind spot when the bowler comes round the wicket.
Couple of chances given to England, and he's rode his luck to good effect on 55. An innings that could spark some emotions in Pakistan's dugout. You're always looking for such moments where you can get yourself back on the horse again.
Yeah, England not been at their best this morning. Very harsh to be critical of a side that may well go and win a Test match, having conceded 560 in their first innings, but not quite at their best.
Chance! Wow! What a catch that is! For a second, I thought it missed Leach's reach.
Got that right, but what a tremendous cotton ball. Not the first time in this Test match he's taken a return catch. This one, even better. Had to dive full length and grabbed it. Wicket number 3 for the left armour. And Shaheen Shah Afridi lasted for 14 deliveries. It's 214 for 8.
Last strike's been administered. 214 for 8. Ebrar is not fit to bat. Still unwell. It's been a bit of a shocker for Pakistan in the second innings. Unbelievable batting performance. From where they were on day 1, good part of day 2, to where they are on day 5, nobody could have guessed and predicted. Well, this was some catch. Really had to turn his course to make sure that he grabbed it, and grabbed it with both hands.
Yeah, England needed that. I mean, putting down a catch and missed a run out. Just Leach setting the tone himself. He's bowled nicely. Three wickets now for Leach. 1 yesterday, 2, both the wickets to fall today. We're looking to wrap this up. Remember, 9 is what they need.
Once again, targeting the front pad. That's been such a good strategy. He's bowled at a faster pace, around 90 kilometers per hour, and it has worked extremely well. 3 wickets for him, 3 for 24. Big shot, that's gone all the way for 6. In the first innings also, he took a liking to spin. This was a massive 6.
Yeah, he played a couple leg side, and then he played a beautiful shot in the first innings offside. And this was just as good. Absolutely nailed.
Showing annoyance. Naseem Shah, that are batted so well in the first innings. Why Shaheen Shah Afridi was sent before me.
Gone. It's all over. Pakistan lose this. And it's a world record in a way. A world record that Pakistan would want to forget after scoring 550 plus, to suffer an innings defeat. It has happened first time ever in Test cricket. But credit to England, they were the better side, and they bowled superbly on a nothing surface, on a flat surface. They made Pakistan toil hard, and once again it was the psychological dent that got Pakistan thinking about a low score, a low performance in the last innings.
Yeah, definitely made use of that scoreboard pressure. England in the second innings, they were on the money, used the new ball very well, picked up important wickets and left Pakistan way behind.
Excellent from England. 556 in their first innings, Pakistan, and lose the game. And that is because England got 823, got a lead, and got them so quickly it enabled them to get 20 wickets in the match. So they have won their last 4 test matches in Pakistan. They beat them 3-0 last time, and they've won their first this time. That is an extraordinary win, having conceded 556 in the first innings. The opposition looked like they were safe. They were far from safe. That's 3 times now England have gone for 500 in first innings. All 3 times they've won.
Yeah, gone are the days where as a team you thought scoring a 300 total in first inning and you are in test match. Well, you need to think hard again.
Records galore for England. Got up to that 800 mark. Massive partnership between the 2 Yorkshiremen. Excellent bowling all round. Cass, I thought, had an excellent debut. Leach showing his class again as a frontline spinner for England. Triple 100 for Harry Brook, double 100 for Joe Root. And in the absence of their influential captain, Ben Stokes, they still managed to pull off an extraordinary win. Shah Massoud and his side will reflect on yet another test match loss. 6 in a row they've lost, and pressures will mount on this Pakistan side The public expect them to get back to winning ways. At the moment, it is hard work.
Yeah, you're right. Plenty to ponder upon for the Pakistani lineup. They have to really address their combination, how to go about the job, and that's how the last wicket fell. He was in a rush, he was in a hurry. Naseem Shah, we all know that he can hang around, but he wanted to take the attack to the bowlers, and that a bit of spin did the job for the left armer. That was his 4th wicket.
So England have won 6 of their last 7 test matches, 5 in the summer, 1st of their winter. And that run underneath the Stokes-McCullum management stroke captaincy, with Pope being in charge occasionally, they have only drawn 1 test match since Stokes took over full-time, and that was a drawn game in Manchester. He promised results, Ben Stokes. He's given England fans results. Collapsed to 82 for 6 in their second innings, Pakistan. A duck for Welcome back to Multan. This test match ended just before lunch on day 5, so England go 1-0 up in the 3-match series. Time for the presentation. Ramiz Raja is in charge.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience. We're ready with the match presentation. In the presentation party, we've got Chaudhry Ghulam Hussain Shahid, Chairman, Kingdom Valley, Mr. Tahir Khurshid, Group Head, Audit Bank, Al Falah, Mr. Saif Qureshi is Board Member, Infinity Ventures, Pakistan, Mr. Tahir Fareed, Authorized Dealer of Inverec Solar Energy, and Mr. Sohail Akbar, General Manager, Vigo Tel Mobile. The first award, may I invite Harry Brook to please come forward and receive the Master Blaster of the match, Vigo Tel number 26 mobile phone. Mr. Saif Qureshi to present Super Saf Dishwash Bar Striker of the Match, cash award of 150,000 to Harry Brookman. Please ask you to come back again and receive another award. May I invite Joe Root to please come forward. Mr. Tahir Khurshid will present the Bank Al Falah Outstanding Performance of the Match, cash award of 100,000. Mr. Tahir Khurshid to present the Bank Al Falah Outstanding Performance to Harry Brook again. Well done. Mr. Saif Qureshi will present the Super Saf Bowler of the Match cash award of 150,000 to Jack Leach. Timely blows, terrific bowling spell on a flat track. Harry Brook is the Man of the Match award winner. Chaudhry Ghulam Hussain Shahid will present the Kingdom Valley Player of the Match trophy and cash of rupees 300,000. Yes, okay, right, we wait for you. The way you batted, I thought you were able to handle all three at one go, but not to be. Great batting, absolutely great batting, well done.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel? I mean, 100, it's difficult to get them in a club match, in a first-class game, but to get it here must have been special.
Yeah, obviously enjoyed it a lot. It was tough out there with the heat, and yeah, it was good to be out there with Ruti and putting on that partnership.
And the pace with which you got those 300. I mean, what was the plan?
We were just batting for as long as possible, to be honest. We had a chat at lunchtime. We set the plan out. We knew we were going to bat for a little period there after lunch and try and score as many runs as we possibly could.
So for any young kid to get a 100, what needs to be done? I mean, what are the checklists?
Good question. I think just got to try and enjoy batting, really. Yeah. Build the partnership with the man at the other end and keep trying to rotate strike and put the bowlers under pressure.
What about the physical ability to last the distance also? Under these conditions, 300, you need to be extremely fit.
Yeah, taking as much fluid on board as possible, having the energy gels and eating as well. So, yeah, it was tough, but it was a good surface to cash in on.
400s in 4 tests against Pakistan. They're probably going to give you honorary citizenship of the country as well.
Yeah, hopefully many more to come.
Well done.
Thank
Brilliant
you very
batting.
Much. Cheers, thank you.
May I invite Shan Masood to please come forward. Well, Shan, I mean, anything which becomes a little predictable in cricket becomes worrying.
Yeah.
Even though you got 550 plus runs in the first innings, there was always this danger of messing it up in the second innings, which is exactly what happened. How troublesome is that for you?
Ramiz bhai, look, we've spoken about the third innings or the fourth innings, but I think it's, at the end of the day, it's a team game, and everything has its advantages and repercussions as a team. When you put 556 on the board, I think it's very important to back that up with 10 wickets and keep the game close. And I thought that's something we didn't do. Because if we take those 10 wickets and have England around our score, maybe a bit more, then these 214, 220 runs on a fifth day become challenging. So again, that's the key, to work it out as a team. How can the batting and bowling in the first innings contribute to a lead, and then hopefully setting the match up? And that's something we're struggling with. We're getting into good positions. You ask your batting side to put up a good score in the first innings, and the onus on us now is to set the game up well so we can finish it off.
So I can understand the bowling bit because it was still a very, very good batting surface, and it remains so even on day 5. But what happens to Pakistan team when it comes to batting under pressure, especially on day 4, day 5? Is there a psychological thing that happens?
No,
is it a mind thing?
No, like I've said, like 220 runs in the third innings, depending on what kind of lead you have, can also be a good score. So the trick for us is that we should learn, obviously, from England as well. They found out ways to get those 20 wickets. You can't win test matches without picking up 20 wickets. And like I said, like as a team, yes, we have that second innings of batting to improve, but then the most important thing is we must also learn how to pick 20 wickets. So that's the challenge as the side has to go forward, and it's about days 4 and 5, 3, 4 and 5 as a side going forward, where we can set test matches up for us.
The challenge obviously is about the combination of the team also, because the fans are disappointed, and everything, I guess, will start from how the pitch will play for second test match. What are your thoughts? Do you think that this dugout needs some freshness, some new faces?
Look, we're in the middle of the series. We've talked about a squad mentality. We've talked about consistency. Where I'd like the team to improve is, no matter what the pitch is like, we must find a way out. And England showed us the way in this test match. You have to give huge credit to them. And test quality cricket, it's the ultimate format, and in the ultimate format you have to find out ways to get the opposition out. Sometimes you might get conditions in your favor, sometimes you might not, but the best teams always find a way, and for us the learning curve is how can we find ways of scoring runs and picking wickets, and there's certain non-negotiables of test cricket that we have to perform on a regular basis.
And it's a quick turnaround also, 3 days. Will that help the dugout mentality? Is it fine to have a quick turnaround in such a scenario?
Always. We love playing the game. We're obviously hurt by the results. We're hurt as a nation, but the beauty of the game is it always gives you another chance. Life gives you another chance, so the quick turnaround might be quite beneficial for us, and we're all looking forward to it.
On a personal note, from leadership point of view, this hasn't been an easy seat for you.
I never try and shy away from responsibility. What hurts is that we're not getting the results that Pakistan cricket deserves. We're all trying hard. We're going to give it our all, and we're going to try and turn this around. And again, responsibility, we'll take it upon ourselves, on our shoulders, and we have to get this right as a squad and as a cricket-playing nation.
All right, better luck next time then, Sean.
Thank you.
Right, may I now invite the England captain, Ollie Pope, to please come forward. It's been a brilliant test match for England, and quite a few questions to ask also. Extremely well done, congratulations, first of all, because this wasn't supposed to be an easy gig for you, you know, coming from England in cold kind of climate to 35 plus. I mean, you had to adjust quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think credit to, firstly, the bowlers, the way they went about their stuff on day 1 and the majority of day 2. I think the fitness that they showed, and then the same with Harry Brook and Joe Root. I think we knew the way to win this game was to put a mammoth score on the board, and it wasn't just 100, obviously it was 260 and 315 or whatever. So I think that's just credit to them for obviously the skills that they've got with the bat, but the determination they had to put the team in a winning position. So it was awesome.
It was a sizable first innings, but the fact that Pakistan have not really played well in third innings or fourth innings, was that discussed in the team meeting? What was discussed, and how was the plan put forward?
Yeah, that wasn't necessarily discussed. I think obviously when you bat for and make 550, you kind of think you're probably in the driving seat there. But obviously when you come out to bat again and you're 260 runs behind and the pitch is 3 days older than it was when you first batted, I think it's never an easy thing to do. We felt like we had a lot of different wicket-taking opportunities. The odd ball was staying low. We got the ball reversing a little bit, and then we got the odd ball to spin as well. So I think it's never an easy position to be in when you're 260 runs behind, and even if you bat as well as you can and make 400 in that last innings, then we still would have tried to back ourselves and chase 140 or so. So I think the way especially the two guys with the big runs played was really a credit to them.
Credit has to be given to Braden Cast on debut. I mean, he bent his back on a flat track and created opportunities, as well as Leach. I mean, his blows were very, very timely for you.
Yeah, absolutely. He obviously got some crucial wickets. He set some clever fields, and he got batters trying to play shots in areas that they didn't necessarily want to play shots in. So I think the way Bryden bowled on debut was awesome. He charged in, he showed a lot of heart. He didn't complain once, trying to have to go with the bumpers again. So a credit to him to that. And then obviously the way Jack Leach bowled, coming back into the side this week. He's obviously had some success out here before, and he's fit right back into the team, and he's taken some crucial wickets for us as well.
You know that you've made the headlines by scoring or not, because it was a powerful scorecard. How do you feel? I mean, 800 plus runs scored, and you stand out as someone who just lasted for a ball.
Yeah. I mean, that's the game, isn't it? I mean, I smoked a pull shot straight to mid-wicket, and unfortunately I was the one to miss out this week, but it's a team game, and what matters is that we're on the right side of the result.
Yeah, fantastic performance. Well done once again.
Thank you.
Right, so that was the England captain, and that is what we have from the presentation ceremony down here as well.
It's a test series that is going to be played here. Starts here in Multan.
And a fifth Test 100 for Shah Masood. His first as Test match captain. He reaches 100 with a 6. And that is his 5th 100 in Test matches.
Oh, swift shot, and that'll race away to the fence. A very structured innings from South Shakil yet again.
This is a tremendous innings. His third 100, batted beautifully.
Paul, now has he pulled off a stunner? He has pulled off an absolutely brilliant catch. Crawley's 50s, been a fabulous watch so far, as always.
Smile on his face for a half century. His 11th 50. His second 250 plus score against Pakistan.
And in the heat and dust of Multan, he becomes only the 6th England batsman to make 300 in Test cricket.
Away from Ollie Pope, and he's declared.
Bowling, what a shot! First delivery, and it pays all round it.
Oh, and another 5 now.
That's nicely done. 50 for Salman Ali Agha.
50 for Ahmed Jamal. He's batted really with some courage.
Gone. It's all over. Pakistan lose this.
Of course, they've got a couple of days before they can turn things around and really redeem themselves in that next test match in Multan. I've been joined by Bazid Khan and, of course, the coach of this red ball team, Jason Gillespie. Jason, tough few days for Pakistan overall after scoring 556 runs in that first innings. They were in a dominating position. Where do you think it all went wrong?
Yeah, thanks, Zainab. And look, we did bat very well. I was really pleased with our effort to post that first innings score. Unfortunately, we didn't get our bowling plans right. We didn't execute specifically what we were trying to do, and that allowed England to get away. And we were playing catch up ever since. And look, what you can't afford to do is not get your skills right against quality players. And I think the England players just showed just how good they are, and we were not able to put any pressure back on them. We struggled to control the run rate. We were able to do it in parts, and we were able to implement our bowling plans in parts, but in parts isn't going to drive games forward in Test cricket. We need to do it more often. We need to be more consistent. We've spoken about this, and we've spoken about this. We need to make sure we actually do it, and that's the challenge going forward.
We'll come to the bowling, but just in terms of the batting, now these second innings collapses have become rather regular for Pakistan. Yeah. We saw that against Bangladesh as well. Yeah. Pakistan seems to do well in that first innings, but what is it down to? Is it psychological? Is it because if it was a question of techniques, then we wouldn't be able to see runs in the first innings at all anyway. So what do you attribute this to?
Well, I certainly don't think it's a skill thing, as we've shown that we can score runs. Look, is it because we spent so much time in the field, then all of a sudden we're batting and their bowls are fresh? Look, who knows? But one thing we do need to do is find solutions and find ways to actually absorb those tougher periods when the opposition is bowling at us, and then identifying those opportunities to score the runs and drive the game. And we talk a lot about driving the game, and we've done that in patches. In my time, obviously, with the 2 tests against Bangladesh, the 3rd test I've been involved. And we've seen a couple of similar patterns. So that's something that we must learn from, and that's really, really important. And we speak about it, but we've actually got to actually translate the good conversations we're having in the dressing room, in the meetings, the planning that we're doing. That's all very good. The training, the preparation is good. We just need to convert all that good stuff into performance out in the middle.
Yeah, we saw a start in 2023 that the second innings is a huge problem. Zainab alluded to the fact that maybe it's not a technical problem, maybe it's a mental block, and we've been sort of almost waiting for that to happen. Is there a solution to that? Is there any way forward in terms of getting that better, or they have to get one innings or the second innings over, or play well in that second innings to actually overcome that mental block? I feel it's a huge mental block.
We'll just have to look. I'm not a psychologist, but look, it's something that we need to improve. There's no doubt about that. We showed we can. So, we had a 100-run partnership between Amir Jamal and Salman Ali Agar. So we know we can do it, and we've shown that we can do that with the bat in patches. But again, we just need to make sure that we find solutions to those good periods when the opposition are looking to drive the game. We need to find ways to stem that flow and then get the initiative back. And they're the conversations we're continually having. But ultimately, it's up to the guys with the bat in hand, with the ball in hand. They've got to do their jobs.
Well, not to point fingers at anybody, but obviously you have certain experience in the squad when it comes to batting and bowling. Shaheen is your frontline pacer, and then you've got Babar, somebody like Babar who sort of holds the batting together. But we haven't really seen those performances by these two players in the last 2 years. And really, the question is it a case of them taking some time apart and then coming back, or do you think the management wants to really back them and rely on them to take this team forward?
Look, we certainly want to back our players, there's no doubt about that, and we firmly believe that if we give players that backing and support, believing in them, we'll get the best out of them. You mentioned those two guys. They're quality players. They've done it for many years in international cricket, and we're really confident they can perform well. having said that, they are all format players, and we need to make sure that we're looking after them as best we can. But look, I'm really confident these guys will put in some great performances for Pakistan going forward.
All right, lastly, just on the conditions then, in terms of Pakistan, when the pitch is being prepared, what do you think is Pakistan's strength? Because we haven't really found a blueprint yet as to, what exactly the pitch, which kind of pitch is going to favour Pakistan.
Yeah, I wasn't upset with the surface here, Multan. This is pretty much what we expected and what we thought was going to be the best opportunity for us to play well in the game. And if you look at our first innings, we put on a score in excess of 550. So that part was fine. No one was saying anything about the surface then. It was only when we didn't get our plans right and we didn't execute our skills with the ball that everyone started to talk about the surface. So that is a key for us, is making sure that we get our skills right. When the ball is in our hand, we make sure we implement. Our plan was to bowl tight and bowl at the stumps, and for one reason or another, we weren't able to do that consistently. So that's something we need to address and we need to rectify, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah, Pakistan is quite an impatient place. Yes, we've talked about the plans and they've not worked. Pakistan hasn't won a home test match since what, 11 test matches, and it's carrying on. I asked just before the season started, what is the strength in home conditions that Pakistan have to actually win a test match? We still haven't discovered that, and I don't know how much more. It's just very passionate Pakistan, how much more they're able to be patient about actually getting over the line. Yes, repeat offences with the bat, with the ball, but where do you then draw the line? Okay, these guys have not been able to do it, or this is not being done. How much longer do you wait?
Yeah, that's a good question. And please understand that this management, myself included, this is our third test match. So it's very early for us in this space. We've certainly looked at past performances, but we're looking at the right now. Everyone talks about, sometimes players are better players when they're not in the team, and everyone is crying out for change. I understand that. People want to see results, they want to see performances, but we also have got some very fine players in that dressing room, and we've shown that, we've had a number of guys who scored centuries this game, and we show, as I said, we show glimpses with the ball. So skill levels aren't the issue. We just need to make sure that we're in the game, we're playing the game, we're adjusting and adapting in game, we're finding solutions out there rather than reflecting at the end of the day's play or the end of the match, oh, we should have done this or we should have done that. No, let's adjust and adapt in game. In-game solutions is something that we talk about a lot, and how can we adapt better and more quickly in game to the adjustments within the game.
Quickly then, before you leave, can we expect any changes in the squad for the next test match?
Oh, you'll have to wait and see, but certainly, obviously, Ahmed is still unwell. He's still being treated at the hospital. So we're just waiting on assessment on him. But we're certainly going to look. There'll be a selection meeting probably later today, and we'll look at all what our options are going into the next test match. So we'll have to wait and see.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, Jason. We're going to let you go so that you can go and have your meetings and discuss the way forward. And that was the coach of the Pakistan cricket team, Jason Gillespie, for you, just talking about reflecting on this particular test match and looking ahead. We're going to take a short breather. When we do come back, we'll be joined by David Cover.
precise. I mean, and batsmen like Harry Brook can make good bowlers look ordinary. And this is the quality of his batting. You know, when he's manoeuvring for himself outside leg stump, for instance, to hit a spinner over extra cover and nailing it and hitting it for 4 and 6. I mean, these are extraordinary shots by an extraordinary player. So, I mean, there is a bit of both in this. You know, a bit of, first of all, the excellent batting, putting pressure on, and maybe a little bit of lack of skill at the right times. But Pakistan's bowlers under immense pressure.
They are under immense pressure. Basit, when you talk about the pacers and the spinners, Abrar Ahmed, of course we didn't get to see him because he was feeling unwell. But for the time that we did, I mean, he seemed rather ineffective. Whether it was down to the conditions or overall, I mean, but he was considered your frontline spinner in these conditions.
Yeah, look, the problem here is that they're sort of out of sync with what's happening with the fans, what's happening in Pakistan. Pakistan at the moment is at its lowest ebb ever in terms of cricket. And there seems as if there's no reaction to it. You play another game, you play the same squad. They've talked about their spinners or their pacers not being able to hold their skills. Then you play 5 bowlers. You don't back your bowlers. Then you play 2 all-rounders. So you have Salman Ali Agha as your all-rounder and Amir Jamal as your all-rounder. So you're actually sacrificing another bowler, and then you're not willing to, on such a track, not willing to have 5 bowlers to keep the runs down or bowl the opposition out. So you're actually not identifying anything. You say you batted well in patches. Yes, you batted well in the first innings, but when you concede 823 and then you say you sort of bowl well in patches, so what do you strengthen? And it's about time now that we discover a way to win Test match. You can blame the pitch all you like. The fact of the matter is Pakistan hasn't got 20 wickets in Pakistan for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Other teams come here and they get 20 wickets. Pakistan haven't. So where's the reaction? Where's the change? Is there something being done? All the same things happen again and again. And there's no change whatsoever. I can't recall in these 10, 11 Test matches that Pakistan has lost or not been able to win in Pakistan that there's been any sort of change or any sort of way that you look at the side or you look at the surface or you look at the playing 11 and say, no, Pakistan are going this way. It's all a lot just confused and muddled.
Well, you're talking about the plans being confused in terms of the selection. We saw Jason Gillespie, he's obviously backing the team, that's what he was talking about. But bowling, we're talking about the fact that they were not consistent enough, or perhaps it's a case of skill. But what explains the batting in the second innings on this track?
I've talked about this at length. The batting, that is a mental block. That is a mental block that there's no quick fix to that. And it was so eminent when that first wicket of that first ball fell, when Abdullah Shafiq got out. It was not only us, it was almost all of the Pakistan cricket fraternity, all of the Pakistan cricket fans, everybody said, here we go again. So it's not about not being able to defend the new ball, not about not being able to play a little bit of movement. It's about a mental block. How's South Africa about that? The mental block of not being able to get over the line. Pakistan have got this huge mental block now in the second innings. Whenever pressure is on, they sort of crumble, and we've seen this time and time again. If this was not I say not a repeat offense, you would say, okay, it's an aberration, but it is a repeat offense. We're talking about it before the game starts. So it is not about the skill of the batter, it's not about the surface, it is just
for Pakistan across all formats. He has been struggling a lot. Now, the way he's getting out as well, I mean, that's also been a topic of discussion. Is it a case of that mental block that Bazid is talking about, him being unable to take that pressure with everything that's gone around with, his captaincy and then sort of relieving himself from the captaincy? There's been just so much going on. Is it a case of him taking a bit of a breather, taking some time apart, sorting his head out, or are you on the other side of the fence where you feel like he needs to be backed and will come through eventually?
Well, okay, first thing, some of the great players of all time have had periods in their careers where they can't make a run. Greg Chappell, one of the finest Australian batsmen, had something like 6 ducks in a row all those years ago, but he ends up as one of Australia's greats. Lots of people have struggled, sometimes for a couple of games, sometimes for a series, sometimes for a year or so. But because Babra's only 29, I think I'm right in saying, he's got a lot of cricket potentially left in. This should be the peak of his career pretty much. Now, when you're down, what tends to happen is that, for instance, the delivery that got him out in the second innings, sometimes you miss it. If there's a bit of movement and it does too much, you miss it, you're still there. You maybe capitalise. When things are going against you, those little nicks inevitably take the bat and end up in the gloves. But what happens at the same time is that your confidence levels drop, and confidence is such a vital and unseeable part of everyone's game. You stop moving, you stop doing the things you do well. And the only person who can tell you at the moment whether Babra is fit, as it were, mentally, to play the next game in 3 or 4 days' time is Babra himself. And I am not going to come as a guest to this country and say, you must drop Babra. I mean, that would be very rude, and I'd probably be shown my passport in the airport straight away. What you have to do as management, Jason Gillespie, Shan Masood, what you have to do is manage this situation with sympathy, but you want to get the best out of the man who is probably technically your best player.
All right.
So you want to get him back. Jason was talking earlier saying he's not a psychologist. Well, actually, a coach has to be a psychologist. The many, many skills coaching international cricket involve techniques, man management, and knowing what to say even to your best players, even to your great players. I mean, Jason Watt's got a double hundred in Test cricket. Doesn't make him a batsman. But he has to understand how is the best way to get into Babra's mind, to get him fit mentally for this next game.
Yeah, look, Babra's been playing international cricket for a long time now, and with his dip in form, obviously captaincy and all that too. But you look at the way last 8 Test matches, he's only played international cricket. He's not played. He's just played 1 first-class game in between. So there's absolutely no downtime. So even if he has a problem, to correct it at international cricket is a huge ask. The pressure of coming here and doing it at the highest level with all the eyes on Babra does take its toll. And it's not like he plays county cricket. He doesn't have an outlet where he's playing a slightly lesser intensity of cricket, doesn't really go back there. So as a batter, we talk about workloads for bowlers, but the mental workload that he has gone through, and he's been performing consistently, but the mental workload has maybe caught up with him. And I'm not suggesting that he should be dropped. I'm suggesting that there should be some time off for him between international cricket. He's an all-format player also. Very few left. Pure batters, there are very few all-format players. So he doesn't get time off. So every innings that he plays is under scrutiny. I think there is a bit of time where now he should just remove himself from that pressure.
All right. Yeah, the burden of expectation is something that is often very hard to manage for great players. Just in terms of positives for Pakistan, very little budget, but Salman Ali Agha was definitely the standout performer for them with the bat. He's been bowling as well, and he's, backing his performances with the. He's being quite consistent with his performances. We saw that in the Bangladesh Test.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he deserves a promotion the way that he bats, and when he comes in, he looks almost more assured than the batters above him, and you just feel that maybe he needs to be pushed up the order, especially in the second innings, because Pakistan struggled. He's batted brilliantly with the tail. He's been exceptional wherever he's been asked to play, and we've talked about the struggles that Pakistan have in the second innings. So one of your better players, I think Rizwan has a great record in the second innings, but one of your better players who basically scores whenever he's been whenever been asked to, maybe you look at him and say, no, he deserves a promotion up the order because he looks like, from afar, he looks like the one player who looks assured, be it the first innings, second innings, be it the newish ball or the spinners operating.
All right, quick look at the squad then. Remember, the squad was only announced for that first test match for Pakistan. So Pakistan does have the liberty to make a few changes if required. Bazit, selector's hat then? What's happening in the next test?
I would love to see 5 bowlers. Now, if they still, sort of what I could get from the conversation was that 550 was enough, 823 was a lot more than they should have given. So I think they should then reinforce the bowling and put a bowler in and say, yes, we've got 5 bowlers to actually, in whatever runs you get, you're able to then test England. Because at the moment you saw them run away with the test match because of the fact that even after 556, it was never enough.
It wasn't enough for sure. That's what we saw. David, from an England point of view, parting thoughts just on how historic this win is for them. Where does it stand in their list of achievements? Coming to Pakistan, they won 3-0 in their last tour. They're back now and then having to score 800 runs. I think this will definitely go down in the history books.
It will. I mean, that last series 2 years ago was very, very impressive indeed. 2 hard-fought wins in the first 2 test matches and a relatively easy one in the third. This has raised the bar. This is England reaching new heights. I mean, new personal best scores, a new high total for the modern era. I mean, what was it, 1937, England made 903. That's 1,000 years ago. And the thing that does for confidence of the team is immense. But it was a good all-round performance, let's face it, because the batsmen put the runs on the board. When it came to bowling on still a flat pitch, still a good pitch in the third innings of the game, suddenly you saw little adjustments, but clever adjustments from the 3 England pacers. They used Leach well. I mean, Leach actually has had a very, very good game and has re-established himself as our best spinner. He doesn't have the imagination that Bashir does, but Bashir lost control too often in this game. So they've ticked a lot of boxes in that first game. And for instance, if they happen to get the chance to bat first in the next one here on probably a very similar pitch, who knows how many they'll make and how quickly they'll do it. But with all those personal achievements and that team achievement, I think this ranks as high as it gets.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts, gentlemen. It's been fabulous to have you here on Pitchside. That was pretty much the first